Hi, I'm Mike Borick, the VP of Product Solutions for CoreWorks. Today, I'm going to be taking you through a solution demonstration of our track and trace cache operations management platform. It's an end-to-end solution for all cache vault operations management, all the way through to field operations, control, and enforcement for both CIT operations and ATM-centric operations for both ATM loading, ATM counting, ATM deposit processing, FLM, service ticket management, and et cetera. We'll be also talking through our OTC Anywhere automated ATM lock access management solution and how that integrated into the track and trace solution provides for a just-in-time ATM lock access control system to deliver open codes just in time inside of workflows that are being managed and enforced by track and trace to completely automate the capture of open codes and to definitively do closed code enforcement across all the main lock systems, CENTCON, LMS, and also the TDS American lock system, which is our third bullet point for today, showing how the TDS G series NFC ATM lock integrates within the track and trace field operations management model and how those controls provide for a completely simplified, completely automated, yet fully secured access management model for your ATM and the ATM security. Just a quick primer on CoreWorks. We are a workflow as a service provider. We deal with lots of revenue critical operations for clients in a variety of industries, including the cash industry. We have three sort of productized solutions that we currently offer. Like we said before, the OTC Anywhere secure automated lock operations management solution. Again, for CAVA, S&G, and TDS lock sets, we're currently doing north of 300,000 lock opens a month, around 10,000 active users. Our track and trace solution is our latest entry into the cache operations industry for both CIT, ATM. We also cover FLM, SLM for service ticketing, as well as all of your underlying cache management capabilities for maintaining multiple branch funding sources for on-site ledgering and cache management operations. We're currently at about 37 vaults, expect to be closer to 60 by the end of 2023, and currently doing about 2 billion a month in cash transport volume, 90% of which is all one-man operations, and we'll be showing some of that today. And then we also have another platform-based solution for doing operations workflow controls that we use in other industries, like the government for the Department of Justice and other places. Today we'll be going through track and trace, just a quick view on that solution and sort of the approach that we've taken to simplify yet add significant control and operational precision to the world of ATM cache management as well as CIT transport management. And then also talking through our OTC Anywhere access management solution. This is sort of a view of all the different ways that we can kind of work with lock systems, either on premise at your location or by enterprise managing them in a dedicated isolated cloud environment that we maintain for a number of our customers, but then allows those functions across the lock systems to be integrated up either into a FLM context for dedicated service technicians, or directly for ATM loaders who are going to be interacting with the cache side of the ATMs, all coordinated through the platform for track and trace. And we also have a separate independent app for OTC Anywhere for users that are typically just doing field service and FLM type of activities. And then as part of the demo today, we'll be showing the latest G series lock from TDS and how that is integrated directly into the workflows, where you're basically removing the necessity for loaders or technicians to have to engage a keypad, have to fumble around with a Dallas key, or have to basically wait for manual dispatch to be able to get into the machine, process the reason for being in the machine, whether it's a ticket or a load, and to be able to get out from that machine as quickly and securely, but as precisely from an operational control standpoint as possible. So next we'll jump right into our demo, and we're going to be using our Devco site to work through the demo today. And contact information, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Thank you. So here we are looking at our current state within Track and Trace Mobile, where we saw that the status came back to say that the lock is not activated. So I will go ahead as the first part of activating the TDS NFC lock by getting the serial number. It's going to tell me to approach the NFC tag. And you can see that it's pulled the serial number for this specific lock that's unique to this lock. When I click out of it, it then autofills the serial number into the next request, which is to activate the lock. Now you can see that it's gone ahead and it's pulled down a activation code from the TDS lock system. And I can then press the NFC control to engage the lock. And we can see that the lock is now activated. And once I return out of that, I then indicate through Track and Trace whether or not the activation of the lock was successful. So I'll go ahead and click yes. This is now updating back to the TDS lock system to indicate that the activation of the lock is now set. I'll show that in the actual TDS lock system for our Devco environment. And we can see now that the lock has been activated and is ready to take open code. So next we will go and get a live open code for the lock. So that again is going back through Track and Trace, through OTC Anywhere, directly down to the TDS lock system to pull that open code for this test NFC lock. Once we've got the open code, again, I press the NFC control, place it on the NFC reader. And we can see that the physical lock is now open. I'll go ahead and turn the lock back. And I will indicate that the lock was in fact opened. It's also adding a step, again, that can be configured as to whether or not we want the user to check paper on the ATM while they're in doing this load. We can also enforce whether or not we want them to perform a test transaction. And now, since this is a TDS lock that requires a close code, I now have to get the close code from the lock to complete the stop. So I will press the NFC control capability. Put my finger in the way. We can see that we got a good open or a good close code. And you can see it auto-populated it into the close control. And I simply press done. And now it's relaying that close code from the lock back to the TDS lock system, which then will show that the lock again is in a state where it has been closed and is now ready to be opened again on the next instance. And then from there, I would then scan out of the location, again, configurable. indicate that I'm returning back to the truck. And here I will go ahead and indicate how much I've loaded. And you can see that the amount that I've loaded is greater than the amount. So I'll go back in, and likewise, if I enter too little, it's going to tell me that I'm going to be producing a short load. In this case, I'll say that I'm entering in $3,020 bills. It does work off of bill count. There's also a strap enforcement as well. And then I need to scan my residual bag, which is now accessible to me because I've ripped open the load bag to load the cash. So I'll scan my barcode from the, oh, did the wrong number. And you can see their active tracking ID enforcement. So only that residual bag can be used in this process for this specific load event. So I couldn't try to game the system by using a different bag. And then I'll enter in a $2,400 residual on our swap. And then we'll take a picture of a receipt. And we do not have a ATM receipt, but we'll do a Home Depot. And then I'll go ahead and end stop. And then as soon as I hit our end stop, if I go back to our web interface,